All right, former President Trump is dominating in the polls so far, but we've got a long way to go until the GOP convention next July. America's Newsroom co-host Bill Hemmer is here with us in studio. Okay, Bill.
Yep.
So the question is...
Nice to see you all.
Yes, nice to see you too. What can shake things loose? We've got kind of numbers that we've seen pretty static most of the summer. Would a debate be the kind of thing, do you think, in this moment that could shake things loose?
My feeling is, well, I mean, our big debate is 4 weeks and 2 days from now. Not that I'm counting, but that's exactly 30 days or so. We went back and found in the summer of 2015, when we had the big debate in Cleveland, Ohio, we had 17 candidates, 7 on the undercard, 10 on the main primetime card. 2 months prior, our polling, all right, so the June of 2015, right? Jeb Bush was at 22%. Scott Walker was at 17. Marco Rubio's at 14. Wow. Donald Trump is at 1%.
Wow.
60 days before that big debate. The reason I think we should point that out is we want all the candidates who qualify to be in that debate in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We'll see how many and whether or not the former president participates. Whether he does or not, however, I think this is a great opportunity for any candidate to really make, I mean, you just heard what Nikki Haley was describing there. If Ron DeSantis wants to catch Donald Trump, he's going to have a golden opportunity with that microphone that night, especially if Donald Trump is not there.
It was interesting. We heard from RFK Jr. yesterday on Fox Business. He is highlighting that this is it's the economy, stupid.
Yeah.
I want you to take a listen to what he had to say.
The ultimate objective is to protect democracy, restore the American middle class. You can't afford to be poor in this country anymore, and you can't afford to be a working person. Just since the lockdowns, the price of housing has gone from $250,000 to $400,000. We're in the middle of a terrible crisis in this country right now. Most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and they're living in terror that they're going to lose their jobs. 57% of our country people, men and women, can't afford, could not put their hands on $1,000 if they had an emergency. So this is not, you know, the America that I grew up in.
So he gets it. It's the economy. And yet we thought the economy would also be the midterm issue, and it actually proved to be less than. A lot of people voted more on social issues or abortion. Is it the pocketbook issue, economy?
I was watching Neil last hour, and he had a gentleman on, and he said he's seeing, quote, more uncertainty now than he's seen in a long time. And he was traveling all over the country. I think he mentioned California. He was talking about the corporate level. Now, I don't know what that means, but that's just what he saw. I think on the individual level, you ask yourself, you know, where do you feel inflation these days? I mean, I went out to eat a couple of times this past weekend, and I got the bill, and I was like, wow, that's a whopper. Now, I know we live in New York, but even for New York, it was like, man, that is something else. And if that's happening here, it's got to be happening in all parts of the country. The Biden team last week, they were making the argument that what Biden's policies are doing are working. It's just that you don't feel them yet.
Oh.
Now, are they right? Is it a 6-month lag? If they're right about that, we'll see some of these inflation poll numbers change. But if they're not,
well,
they're going to go higher.
You're hitting on something that I think is important. I want to go back to sort of the sentiment coming from that clip of RFK Jr. You know, some people in his own party are saying he's some sort of right-wing operative. He's just sounding to me like a moderate Democrat, but we've seen the polarization in that party become so extreme. Will this be the election where this country essentially rejects basically that progressive leftism?
My feeling is the lines have been drawn for the Democratic establishment, and they don't want to take on any challengers for Joe Biden's position. There are others who think that Joe Biden's not going to run. I don't know who's right in that, but they're trying to shut Kennedy down. I thought the clearest example of that was the hearing last week. Boy, right when you got through opening statements, there was, I mean, they were throwing haymakers at his way. Man, this was a censorship hearing. And Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who had to leave the head of the DNC, right, on the eve of the convention in 2016, wanted to take that hearing behind closed doors. I mean, the contrast was just stark, I think, as you watched that.
Point.
I don't know if Kennedy can make inroads against Joe Biden. I don't think the Democrats are willing to give him a shot to stand on a debate stage with Joe Biden. I think their effort now is to try and snuff him out as most effectively as they can for now.
We have to leave it there, but we really appreciate
Great to be with you.
staying around, joining us. Bill, thank you so much.